What's up, family? As always, I'm back once again. I will be getting started around the 6 minute mark. If you did not know, this live stream will be about the importance of Afro Futurism. So hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I will be starting momentarily. So sit tight. Again, I will be picking up at the 6 minute mark. Like, share, and subscribe. Hotep family, we're going to get started. So I want to let it be known first that Afrofuturism isn't sci-fi, it's blueprint. If we can't imagine black future, then we can't build it. They stole our past, so now we get our future. And we must emphasize that and understand that. We must keep this in mind when we discuss the matter of Afrofuturism. I want to point out that the origin of Afrofuturism goes beyond the name. I want us to pay attention to two key figures. One is Sun Ra. The other is Octavia Butler. But of course, there are others. I want to let it be known that Martin Delaney, his work that goes by the name of Blake or the Huts of America is indeed recognized as a piece of Afrofuturism. It imagines a black future that did not immediately exist at the time. So we will credit Martin Delaney for being a pioneer of Afrofuturism. We will also get a correct timeline for the concept of Afrofuturism. I will let this sit here momentarily, and then I will go over key points. As you can see, and this has been long proven, that Africans before modern times were practicing science. So not only do we see the work of Sun Ra coming before the coined term, we also have other marks in time that we can acknowledge. Here is another timeline for Afrofuturism. As you can see, other than the coined term, that is the only thing that is not fitting in the timeline. And just because we didn't come up with the coined term does not mean that Afrofuturism does not belong to us. We need to keep this in mind. I want to highlight Sun Ra. I want it to be known that his work was instrumental for Afro Futurism, and it is in relation to STEM. I'll leave this here and then I will go over it momentarily. For those of you who are not aware of who DJ Spooky is, he is a cyber punk artist, and he was inspired by Sun Ra. He also did studies with Yale's Quantum Institute. So I want to let it be known that while Sun Ra is seen as somewhat enigmatic and bogus by some standards, he is useful, especially when it comes to STEM. I want to also let it be known that his music is encompassing of a futuristic genre. He is a pioneer of the jazz and Afro-futuristic genre. So Sun Ra called it myth science. 50 years later, DJ Spooky introduces physics into music, and then all this comes into full circle to Sun Ra letting it be known that calculus belongs to us. I want to introduce Wanuri Kahiu. We will watch her TED Talks lecture.
So, my mother's a pediatrician, and when I was young, she'd tell the craziest stories that combined science with her overactive imagination. One of the stories she told was that if you eat a lot of salt, all the blood rushes up your legs, through your body, and shoots out the top of your head, killing you instantly. She called it high blood pressure. This was my first experience with science fiction, and I loved it. So when I started to write my own science fiction and fantasy, I was surprised that it was considered un-African. So naturally I asked, what is African? And this is what I know so far. Africa is important. Africa is the future. It is, though. And Africa is a serious place where only serious things happen. So when I present my work, somewhere will always ask, what's so important about it? How does it deal with real African issues like war, poverty, devastation, or AIDS? And it doesn't. My work is about Nairobi pop bands that want to go to space, or about 7-foot-tall robots that fall in love. It's nothing incredibly important. It's just fun, fierce, and frivolous. As frivolous as bubblegum, Afro bubblegum. So, I'm not saying that agenda art isn't important. I'm the chairperson of a charity that deals with films and theaters that write about HIV and radicalization and female genital mutilation. It's vital and important art, but it cannot be the only art that comes out of the continent. We have to tell more stories that are vibrant. The danger of the single story is still being realized. And maybe it's because of the funding. A lot of art is still dependent on developmental aid. So art becomes a tool for agenda. Or maybe it's because we've only seen one image of ourselves for so long that that's all we know how to create. Whatever the reason, we need a new way, and Afro bubblegum is one approach. It's the advocacy of art for art's sake. It's the advocacy of art that is not policy-driven or agenda-driven or based on education, just for the sake of imagination. Afro bubblegum art. And we can't all be Afro bubblegumists. We have to judge our work for its potential poverty, porn pitfalls. We have to have tests that are similar to the Bechdel test. And ask questions like, are 2 or more Africans in this piece of fiction healthy? Are those same Africans financially stable and not in need of saving? Are they having fun and enjoying life? And if we can answer yes to 2 or more of these questions, then surely we're Afro bubblegumists. And fun is political. Because imagine if we have images of Africans who were vibrant and loving and thriving and living a beautiful, vibrant life. What would we think of ourselves then? Would we think that maybe we're worthy of more happiness? Would we think of our shared humanity through our shared joy? I think of these things when I create. I think of the people and the places that give me immeasurable joy, and I work to represent them. And that's why I write stories about futuristic girls that risk everything to save plants, or to race camels, or even just to dance, to honor fun. Because my world is mostly happy. And I know happiness is a privilege in this current splintered world where remaining hopeful requires diligence. But maybe if you join me in creating, curating, and commissioning more Afro bubblegum art, there might be hope for a different view of the world, a happy Africa view, where children are strangely traumatized by their mother's dark sense of humor, but also they're claiming fun, fierce, and frivolous art in the name of all things unseriously African, because we're Afro bubblegumists. And there's so many more of us than you can imagine. Thank you so much.
So I will be getting into more of who Wanari is. But first, I want to give you some of her work. This movie is called Poomsy. It is not a movie, it is actually a short film. So watch a trailer.
Dream detected. Take your dreams as present. Dream detected. Take your dreams as present.
Kinetic energy, 0% pollution, 100% self-sustainable.
I found the perfect soil sample and planted the mighty seed. It's growing.
Soil sample.
The one you sent. The box with no delivery note.
I didn't send anything. Reported to security and move on.
This could mean there's life on the outside.
You are not qualified to determine that. Forward your work to the science lab.
I'd like to apply for an exit visa to go outside. If I could find the original soil, I could...
The outside is dead.
But the soil is alive.
Take your dream suppressants.
But I know it's alive. It has to be.
You were compromised by your illness. You should have taken your medication.
I have been taking them.
I can't help you anymore.
What about the plan?
So I want to highlight Wanuri Kahiu. She is an artist and a scientist. She teaches that storytelling is a technology, and of course, she ties Afrofuturism and STEM together. She is a filmmaker who emphasizes on sustainability, and as you can see, her movie or her short film Poomsy is directly about that. I want to let it be known that we are the very people who are experiencing a dystopia. So all the sci-fi dystopias that leave black people out are actually our story as being told by white people. This is why many blacks are underrepresented or not represented at all in American and European science fiction fantasy film. I want to go into Afrofuturistic canon and movies that we know of today. Again, I want to highlight Poomsy. You can see why it matters. It was the first major Kenyan sci-fi film, and it had a black woman scientist as the lead role. So this was indeed important as a short film. Before I get more into movies, I want to point out the scholars who are engineering Afrofuturism. We have Afrocentric scholars who are actually using Afrocentrism and find value in it. And because of that, they are creating public works or publications and doctrine based on this. I want to also point out that Molefi Asante is a mastermind behind the Afrofuturist movement. Before Wakanda, there was Asante and his Afrocentricity is the code for Afrofuturism, and it was the code that it was built on. I want to also compare the work of Afro Futurist filmmaking versus Black trauma filmmaking. Tyler Perry documents Black pain, and Wanuri architects Black futures. One archives trauma, the other builds a Black world. And one can argue that Tyler Perry does provide counters to his trauma, but they're all religious. They're all about waiting and praying. On the other hand, Afrofuturists are talking about laying out a blueprint. And it just so happens that as a Black people, we tend to pick Tyler Perry over revolution. And since we have been doing that, we get this comparison chart. So I'm going to leave this here momentarily, and then we will get into movies. As you're looking over it, keep in mind the plots, the general plot of Tyler Perry movies versus the general plot of Afrofuturism. Now, as we get into movies, the movie alternatives, I want us to keep in mind that Afrofuturistic canon provides us with a unique representation. And it becomes powerful, a powerful tool for children, for our children. The children are our future, so we must embrace and see the real value in Afrofuturism, no matter if we want to put a pseudo label on it. The point is that it is very useful and powerful for our children, and I will be getting into that later as I go into these movies. I just want to remind you about Poomsy, the significance of Poomsy and the impact of Poomsy. Many of you might have seen They Clone Tyrone, but if you haven't, this movie is also useful for STEM. Pretty much, They Clone Tyrone is a movie that is telling you that the lab is already in the hood. They Clone Tyrone turns Black paranoia into Black analysis. Cloning, CRISPR, mind control frequencies. They Clone Tyrone turns real biotech into a lesson. STEM literacy is survival. I will leave this here momentarily so that you can indirectly or directly take note of it. I want to also highlight the movie Welcome to Terradome. This movie was made by the first Black British woman to direct a theatrical feature, and she chose dystopia sci-fi. I want to let it be known that no justice, no peace. Welcome to Terradome was 30 years ahead of its time. It brings no justice, no peace into the movie theater 30 years before Black Lives Matter. I want to also highlight See You Yesterday. This is a recent movie. Excuse me, not a recent movie, but this is a 2019 movie that came out. And it has all kinds of STEM connections. I want to point out that movies like this and STEM gives our children something other than sports to look forward to. These are the main characters. So when your children see their likelihood or their likeness represented in these types of characters, it is definitely unique and motivating. Going back to Welcome to the Terradome, I want to highlight Ngozi Onwa-Raouf. She is the architect of the Welcome to Terradome movie. I want to also let it be known that other than movies, we have comics. We have Afro Futuristic comics. Many of you might be familiar with Black Sands. Black Sands definitely is important because it puts spaceships and Kemet together. I would highly recommend this if you have kids. I want to also go over the first Black video game, Enzo Corey Odon, Orion, Legacy of the Corey Odon. He doesn't collect loot, he channels ancestors. Orion turns African mythology into real-time combat. So this is great for the children. It's a great alternative to Final Fantasy or any other role-playing games that do not have representation in mind for Black people. And we have a visual comparison of what I just indicated. I want to highlight the impact of the Black Panther. I want to first let it be known that even though it is a creation from Marvel, what Marvel allowed, especially with the 2018 Black Panther, it allowed Black cast, obviously, Black production, Black costumes, or Black costume designers. So we begin to see how it is still a part of Afro Futurism, although it comes from Marvel. But I bring up the Black Panther movie to let it be known that real life Wakandas, projects based on real life Wakandas, come out of inspiration from Afrofuturism. I will leave this here momentarily and I will go over it. So because of the Marvel film, the Black Panther laid down the framework for STEM recruitment. I bring that up to say that when we take control, when and if we take control of Afrofuturism projects, whether it be in movies, books, art, whatever the case may be, this is what comes. So we need to take hold of Afrofuturism and see what the results and understand what the results are. So when we have it completely as ours, we know what we can manifest. I want to point out the box office power and what the Black Panther brought. And again, I bring that up to say that this is what happens when we have Afrofuturism and we come together to be our own producers, our own screenwriters, our own costume designers, our own producers and directors, studios, owner of studios. This is what happens. We then can take the money and the revenue and keep it in circulation. And this is obvious. So I'm just reminding you I don't know how many times we've been reminded of economic solutions, but Afrofuturism is indeed an economic solution, serve as an economic solution based on what past Afrofuturism artworks have done. Again, here's some of the impact of Afrofuturism. I'm going to be closing out soon, but before I do, I want to go over a few things. I want to point out a few articles that vindicate what I have been saying on this live stream. And again, the main reason for Afrofuturism is for the future, and the main characters who are be playing in that future are our children. So it now becomes important for the children, not just for the sake of debating and seeing whether scholarship or Afrofuturism is okay for scholarship and historical debate. No, Afrofuturism has its value for our children and our future. It lays down a blueprint for a prosperous African future. I want to point out that Afrofuturism is an exhibit in a museum, the African American History Museum will be having an exhibit on Afrofuturism. So I tell you this to say that it is a real thing. Right, I'm going to be closing out soon. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the live chat. Meanwhile, I'm going to leave you with Legos in Light Years. This is the electronic tune that we have been listening to. So meantime, like, share, and subscribe. I hope you learned something. I will also be coming on live again for a topic to be named. I haven't figured out what the topic matter will be, but I will be making a thumbnail for it soon. So in the meantime, like, share, and subscribe, and listen to Afrofuturistic music.